Today's seminar was, I think, particularly timely because it comes, at a time when a legislative proposal by the Commission on the revision of the FDI screening regulation is imminent, we understand, following a public consultation that gave rise to the expression of many opinions on the future of EU FDI. And it comes after what I would say are 10 tumultuous years for FDI control in Europe, where we went from a world where basically national authorities were only a few to control FDI in Europe and were operating under the strict gaze and of the Commission and the risk of infringement proceedings to a world where we have now a regulation and where basically we have 22 member states with an FDI control regime, and perhaps we will one day have all member states with such a regime. And so the question now is how are the next years going to look like? Are they going to be as tumultuous, perhaps even more tumultuous, in light of the state of the world? And what we discussed today was first whether there should be a form of convergence and predictability on the scope of FDI review, including in the context of the modification of the regulation, and how the sectors and the transactions that need to be screened can be efficiently identified, and whether to some extent economics, which is the art of choice, can help in this process. We also discussed the process in EU FDI, to which extent, for instance, some lessons in terms of due process, in terms of a fact-based investigation aimed at basically assessing whether a transaction fulfills or threatens public objectives, whether the process that is followed, for instance, in the context of merger control, can be of some help, and the consequences of recent judgments, including the Xela judgment of the Court of Justice. And finally, we also discussed remedies, which are playing an important role in the practice of a number of authorities in the field of FDI. And so a question is, will there be a form of, if not consensus, at least convergence or best practices in this area too? And again, can economics help in having basically an objective assessment of the efficiency of these remedies?
Excellent. Damien, what about your key takeaways?
The title was The Future of FDI Screening in Europe. I would start with saying the future is now, because next week the Commission will come out with its legislative proposal, and I could not divulge the content of that, so we focus a lot on what's happening now and what will happen in any event in the coming years. I think the process we have built over the last 3 years is a very solid one. We have a study by OECD experts, we have had a public consultation last summer, we have had a report from the Court of Auditors in December, so we are using all that as a basis to identify the shortcomings in effectiveness and in efficiency of our regulation. So effectiveness, are we achieving the right objectives? Are we relevant? Can we improve? So what is it that CFU, if I can call it like that, cooperation on foreign investment into the European Union, what is it that we capture, that is being screened, and what is it that is notified to the cooperation mechanism? Not enough, probably too much. And so we will make a proposal in this field that will, I think, also improve in the long run the level of convergence between the national screening mechanisms, which may create a problem for the proper functioning of the internal market. And so these elements we will, I think, address next week. But I think we had an excellent conversation also on what we can learn from merger control, be it on the scope, the sectors, the transactions, the test, what is the policy objective that we try to achieve? What is this public good that we're trying to protect? And how it's being done under merger control, by whom? And when is it that we are ready to issue a notice or guidelines? I think we've learned that in merger control it took, for example, 18 years for the Commission to issue a notice on remedies. Well, I do hope that in FDI screening it will take less than 18